Hello. Hello, everybody. How is everyone? Love your hair. Thanks. This is my attempt to keep it out of my face. It makes me look like a toddler, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's still kind of cute. So, oops, sorry about that. This live might have to be in multiple parts because I am at work, but we haven't had a customer in like an hour and I'm just sitting here drawing. So, yeah. I will be keeping this live up because I've already learned the hard way that if I don't keep lives up, people will be like, oh my God, Entropy said this in their live stream. And it will not have been what I said. So, let's just not do that. We'll go ahead and save this live when we're done. But yeah, so yes, was it yesterday? Was it the day before? I don't remember. In the past couple days, Kim was on, and she was like really emotional. And she said, I don't know if it was a live or if it was a video or something, but she was like, we left YouTube because of nin stands. Which, like, yes, but that's a gross oversimplification. And I don't want anyone thinking, you know, that we're saying half-truths or trying to deceive people. So I just want to talk about the timeline of what finally broke me and what made me decide to leave YouTube. Don't expect any tea from this. Like, this is all going to be stuff that's already been talked about. I just want to put my timeline out there so you guys know why I left and why I am too afraid to return. So, basically, hello from Australia. Hi. So we've been through a lot on this channel. We have survived a lot on this channel. Like, from the baby days, we had our full name leaked. That blog's actually been, like, the blog, there was a Tumblr blog that leaked our full name and our school and our past trauma and, like, all this stuff. It's pretty crappy. And it said, it was like, our full name is faking. That was the Tumblr blog name. And that's kind of been cycling Twitter because somebody found it and thinks it's new and interesting, which it's not. It's so old news. We had some anons try to, leak old addresses of ours and try to leak our current home address. They did leak our home address, which was pretty shitty, but, like, we survived it and it was fine. Like, we've been able to deal with haters. We've dealt with haters. We had friggin' Stronghold and the plural community come after us for System Pride Day for 100 reasons, accuse us of being cult leaders and intentionally, triggering or excluding people who were SRA survivors and blah, blah, blah. And we survived that, and it was fine. It was stressful, and I had to take a month off from the internet afterward, but, like, it was fine. But this past year has been so overwhelming. I guess not past year, calendar year, so like the last 6 months. And worse than I have ever experienced online in the years I was on YouTube. And it just got to the point where we are fully, like, we can't even sit in front of the camera to film a video without having a panic attack. Like, our last couple videos, it took us an hour to film each of them. I don't understand how people get that sort of personal information. Well, see, here's the thing, is it's all public. You just have to know where to look. Like, everybody's address is in a phone book, and phone books are public information. So if you have somebody's name and a general idea of where they live, you can find information on them. Like, it's not terribly hard. It's shitty if you do that, but it's not hard. Anyway, so stuff started to go south, and, like, we've talked about this before, so again, this isn't new stuff. No one's gonna get tea from this. The internet isn't a safe place. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not. And, like, I know that. Have you had the option of being unlisted? I looked into it after that. Yeah, I went after that, and I was like, where am I listed? Let's get rid of all of that. Anyway, so things started to really go crazy. Like, it all started, like, in my eyes, the way everything was affecting me, it all started with the Anthony Padilla video. And Nin going on and just putting on a show. Like it was certainly interesting. And I was like, oh, well, why did you make those choices? But whatever. I was like, it's fine. Anthony Padilla is cool. I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad the word's getting out. But that brought a lot of attention to the DID community from, like, unsavory peeps. And, like, we already had, like, Kiwi Farms, like, they're a bunch of fucking jokes. But it kind of amplified Kiwi Farms a little bit. So, like, that happened. And then the Trisha stuff happened. And that was intense because, like, everybody's like, oh my God, what are you guys gonna say? What are you guys gonna do? Like, how are you gonna respond? And I was like, do we need to respond? And then I decided, yeah, it's probably best if we'd have a response, just because she's got 2 million subscribers, and that's a lot of subscribers, so we should say something. And we kind of had a chat with the other YouTubers being like, how do we want to do this or whatever? And Dissociated made her first video, which for the most part I thought was a good video. Except for the one part where Trisha's like, oh, she just looked like a crazy person, and then, like, stops and, like, looks at the camera and it's like, oh, that hurt a lot more than I thought it would, or whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever, maybe it did. That feels a little played up, but that's just an assumption on my part. Anyway, so she handled it. She didn't say, like, I told everybody, I was like, absolutely don't accuse her of faking. Like, I know people fake DID, but as soon as people start fake hunting, everybody starts turning on one another. And I was like, we cannot do that. We absolutely cannot do that. And she didn't, and I appreciated that. And then Trisha made a video where she was, like, yelling at Anthony. Or Anthony. I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Anthony. And Nin responded as if the video had been at her. And I was like, Nin, this is, like, she mentioned your name once. Just, like, quoting what she said in the other video. She's like, no, it was towards us. Okay. And so, like, this is causing a lot of upset. People are really on edge right now because a lot of people really care for Nin. And they don't like seeing her attacked. And Nin is responding in a way that shows herself as, like, very wounded by what's happening. And then she posted the, like, Trisha Paytas, the aftermath or whatever. And we were like, Nin, what are you doing? Why did you make a video and tag her? And she's like, well, people want to know what's going on with that. I was like, but you tagged her in the title. That is only going to spur her to respond. Like, that's going to make things worse. You need to change the title. And she was like, no, it's fine. Well, it wasn't. And the Trisha thing got bigger. And people got more distressed because they were worried about Nin. People were panicking. I tried to, like, do what I could to help. But it, she just kept getting into it. And kept making, people panic on her behalf. Then the whole Nan thing happened. And oh boy, that was... Cool boy. Drama gets views, yeah. I don't think Trisha should be hunted, but neither should Dissociate. I don't think they should be hunted, no. Held accountable for actions? Yes. Hunted? No. Sent hate? No. I don't think people deserve that. But yeah, so the Nin thing happened, and suddenly people are flocking to kiwi farms, which is just it's a place where people love, like, they get off on saying mean things. And so they're reading through all this stuff and all this speculation and all this hate, and people are getting more and more and more upset. People are getting upset in defense of Nin. Well, they were upset in defense of Nan for a while, until, like, some of the bigger name systems like me spoke up about it. But then, yeah, like, in the background, Nin keeps defending Pinata. And we're like, you need to stop. We were talking about it we had a call to talk about it, about the entitled to life thing, because it affected us all. Because this is someone we were going to be living with for a weekend, and we were like, okay, let's discuss this, let's get all our feelings and whatever. And she's like, we shouldn't be talking about this, let's not talk about this. We were like, what should we say publicly? She's like, don't say anything publicly, like, shut it down. And we were like, no. No, this isn't something that just gets brushed under the rug. Then yeah, like, she leaves that tweet, the infamous tweet, and vanishes. Now, every time I'm online, every video that I'm posting, comments are coming in. Is Nin okay? Is Dissociated okay? What have you heard from Dissociated? And it's focusing so much on her. And I am just, like, so emotionally torn, because she, like, built and built and built. It's Win. It built and built and built all this drama. Absolutely ignored any advice I was giving her on how to not do this, and, like, left it at a peak, and then was like, peace out, I might die. And, like, everybody was just at the highest emotional peak at that point. And I couldn't say anything about what, like, people were scared. They were terrified for Nin. They were overdrawing their bank account to make sure, like, because they wanted to make sure that their patron money went through, and I wanted so badly to be like, guys, this is what's actually happening, but I couldn't. I was scared. I was scared to share what was happening in the background, because I didn't know, like, first off, like, I was like, I don't know how people will respond, because Nin is beloved, and it was like, I felt sick to my stomach every time people would be like, here's good resources, entropy system, Dissociated, and I was like, fuck, I can't see her name. I hate seeing my name next to hers, like, and then, I started to go under fire a bit for, how Leto had described himself, which there were some people who, like, talked to me about it. Like, I thought I had been listening to people of color, because there was a lot of positive feedback on my videos, but I found out that the people of color who had issues with it were, like, too nervous to come talk to me, and so we had some really great people on Twitter who were like, yeah, like, here's the thing. And I was really defensive at first. But then there were also some people on Twitter who were, like, talking about ways I should die and that I should get shot on sight and, like, very, very violent, terrible things. And I was like, okay. And then meanwhile, I'm also dealing with the Nin stuff. And that, like, was terrible timing. But, like, the violent threats that I was getting on top of the stress I already felt, because I felt like Nin had, like, played with this community that I love so much, and there was nothing I could do about it. I just had to watch everything burn, and I was too scared to say anything. So finally I was like, fuck it, like, I left YouTube. like, I left the day that, you know, the whole race thing was coming up, but that's not why I left. I left because, like, everything else had come to a head, and then I got people talking about why I should die, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I absolutely cannot do this anymore. Like, I'm done. I can't come back, you know, and, like, prior to that, we were, you know, that wasn't the only recent hate. Like, when we posted our Systems of the World video, the first one, we got hate because it didn't have enough diversity. The second one, we got hate because there was a system who had a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, which has been recently adopted by white supremacists. That's not why he had it, but I got accused of supporting white supremacy, which is the most terrible thing, one of the most terrible things someone can do. So being accused of that was like, whoa. So, like, we had been under fire a lot, like, that couple, like, over the span of just, like, weeks. And then the stress of what happened with Nan, and the stress of Nin behaving the way she did, and, like, me feeling like I couldn't do anything about it, and everybody was so afraid, and no matter what I did, people were throwing hate at me, and it was insane. It was insane. And, like, you know, we include, like, Nin fans and why we left. I gotta plug in my phone. Because, like, they were wanting answers, and they weren't getting answers from the person they wanted answers from, so then they turned to us, angrily, trying to get, you know, like, the slightest mess up, they wanted accountability for. Like, they wanted answers for it because they weren't getting the answers from Nin, the answers they wanted, so they were lashing out at us, which sucked. So then, after I quit YouTube, I finally was like, I'm gonna call her out on Twitter. I'm gonna say something, because what the fuck else do I have to lose? So I made the tweet being like, hey, listen, you need to take accountability for this stuff. Like, nobody knew the backside story of it anymore, but she did. I was like, you absolutely need to take accountability for this. And she messaged me, and she's like, you have just put my life in danger. You take that tweet down now. And I was like, okay, if you take that tweet down, or if I take the tweet down, you will listen to me. She's like, fine. So I take it down, and we talked. And basically, I was like, listen, everybody feels betrayed. Me and the other YouTubers who once called you very good friends are hurt so badly, you know, like, this happened and this hurt us, and we tried to stand by you and whatever, like, really just laid out the timeline that I gave you guys. And she messaged back being like, you sound like you're straight out of Kiwi Farms, and you're obviously just interested in money and views, and you don't care about us. And I was like, I quit YouTube 2 days ago, so I'm not sure how I'm in this for views, but okay. You know, but just like this, like, these 12 minutes of voice messages that were just, like, just emotionally manipulative, like, emotional blackmail, just being like, I obviously don't value their life, and like I'm here to support the trolls, and like all this stuff. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And we've been in an emotional spiral since then. Like, so yeah, the last 2 videos that we posted, like I said, like, we had panic attacks sitting down to film them because we were so scared of whatever backlash was going to come down. And so, like, now, like, you know, I miss my channel so fucking much. I don't know, like, it gave me purpose in life for years after scrambling and not knowing what I was, you know, who I was or what I was worth. And now that I don't have it, now that I don't have my channel, I'm floundering, and I'm in a really bad place right now, like, emotionally and mentally, and, like, I'm fine, like, I'm not in danger. I contacted my therapist. I might be going back to therapy if she can take me. But, like, I have a support system. I have coping skills. Like, I'm not saying this, like, I'm in danger. Just, like, bad headspace. I'm in a really bad headspace lately. But, like, I can't go back to my channel because even thinking about it, like, I broke down crying at work with my coworker here, which sucks because I hate crying in front of people. Yeah. But yeah, so that's why we left YouTube. just saying it was because of Nin stands, sorry, I'm so tired, saying it's because of Nin stands was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Oversimplified. It was very oversimplified. So I just wanted to tell everybody, like, I never really talked exactly about why I left YouTube. So it was a culmination of a lot of things. And we're too scared to go back. We're still going to the conference. We're still going to be on Instagram. We're going to respond to drama as little as possible because we just can't handle it anymore. And neither can Andrew. His mental health is really tied to ours as well. Obviously, he cares about us, and when we're not doing well, he's not doing well. And yeah, so I haven't been really reading comments as they've been scrolling through because I've been trying to keep like a, track, keep my train of thought on the tracks. But I feel better now that I've talked about it. And like I said at the beginning, I'll be saving this live because the last couple lives we haven't saved them because we were like, we don't want trolls to like listen and pick it apart. But then as soon as we delete it, people go onto Twitter and be like, Entropy just said this. And we're like, whoa, we never said that. So it's best to have it here. Like I said, there's no new information that I put out. Like, this is all stuff we've talked about before in previous lives and things that other YouTubers have talked about. So like, like I'm not saying this to like, here's the more information, because there was no new information. I just wanted to lay it out in a way that I explained why we left YouTube. Again, because, the way Kim described it was very oversimplified, and I don't want people thinking that, we're hiding truths or putting out false words or exaggerating or whatever. So I wanted to just set everything clear. Yeah. Anyway, thanks you guys for listening. If you didn't catch it all, you want to hear it, it's going to be saved. I really think the community is, like, now that we've all sort of talked about this and, like, let people, like, help people connect the dots of, like, why things got so big, and scary. People are, like, we're all still very raw right now, but you have to be raw before you can heal. Like, I think we're healing, and I think that's great, and I think the community is going to be better for it, and I'm definitely going to be in the community and watch it grow together. I'm going to try to have my influence and presence shrink a bit. But yeah, I just wanted to set the record straight. And I hope you guys all have a super good evening. I'm going to start closing up the shop and go home and probably go straight to sleep because I am very tired. All right. Love you guys all. And remember, you are loved, you are valuable, you are valid, and that will always be true.